But I'm not doing my best to hide my disappointment for being passed over for vice president yet again. I like to answer questions that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. Dorian or Mixolydian? Ho ho, a question about the modes. My favorite thing, the most confusing thing in the world. This is going to be just kind of an intro. If modes always confuses you, which I get a lot of questions like that. Every time I hear the modes, I just tune out, which is totally understandable. I was there too. We're just going to do one thing. We're going to do one thing modal that maybe you can take with you, right? So you've probably played A minor pentatonic, right? You're not a guitar player if you've never played A minor pentatonic scale. Okay? So this question right here, Dorian. Dorian's a super tasty mode. One of the tastiest of the modes. A lot of people say it's the tastiest mode. All you have to do is there's one thing special about each mode. I think that's a great way to start it. So we're going to do an example of taking the special sauce of the minor modes. Again, there's 7 notes in the key. Each of those has its own mode that goes with it. We're not going to go over them. We're just going to go over 3 minor ones, right? Because we just played minor pentatonic. Now, the thing that makes Dorian is we add one note and make it different, okay? So we're going to take the minor pentatonic scale in A. We're just going to add an F sharp. That's all we're going to do. And I think one of the best things to kind of see the modes in action, as it were, is to maybe take the second half, the second octave of the register to kind of take the special note, right? So if we just have A minor pentatonic, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8. Let's go to the B string and add the F sharp here. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to add the 7th fret of the B string to what we're doing. We're just going to add it to the A minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so I'm just going to loop something in A minor. I'm just going to loop just an A minor chord. That's it. It's just going to be A minor. A minor pentatonic. Now I'm going to add the special sauce. So you can kind of tell as soon as with that note, that F sharp gets introduced in this key, we have a different kind of sound. And that's really kind of like the sound of Dorian. Now, the cool thing is we can do this with other parts of the modal scales, as it were. Again, I don't want to go too far into this. Again, if you want to learn more about this, I'm doing this from the ground up over on my Patreon. It's super cheap every month, and I have like an absolute, from your very first guitar lesson, building up towards like mastering the modes and stuff like that. So check that out, link in the description. But basically, all it is we can substitute different things that make the mode special. For instance, another really popular mode that goes with like the minor pentatonic scale would be Phrygian, all right? All that has is instead of adding an F sharp to what we're doing, maybe we can add this note right here, right? B flat. We can do that to the same loop, okay? We could start that again. All right, you can kind of hear that that's a very different, almost kind of like some people would say that's like a Middle Eastern feel. All we're doing is we're taking minor pentatonic, which you already know a little bit, and then adding one note to make it like a signature thing, all right? The other one would be just the regular straight up minor scale, which a lot of people should know. You know, like hand shapes more than anything, but again, we're not doing so much hand shapes as thinking of single notes to add to whatever you're doing. All right? A lot of people know these minor pentatonic positions and licks in it, so we're just adding a note. So again, here, we'll do one more quick example, then I'm going to change the whole thing up. So here's the A minor pentatonic. Dorian. Phrygian. Minor. You know what's really interesting is once you go to minor, it's like it doesn't really sound right because we started off with Dorian. I think that's why, like, to me, that to answer this question in a long-winded way, Dorian over Mixolydian. I just feel Dorian has, like, such a signature kind of place. When you hear it, it's like you just kind of, like, it just sucks you in. It just pulls you in, right? So this is all well and useful, but, like, a lot of times you're going to be playing over something that isn't just one static chord. So let's do the same thing, but in a way that totally will not work, right? All we just did, we just add A minor, so maybe you'd be like, okay, well, anytime I see A minor, I can just add that note and see if it flies. Well, let's do something with an A minor, but let's do like a C major chord progression. So it'll be like C major, A minor, F, C. Okay? C major, A minor, F, C. I'll just do regular A minor. There's the minor scale note. Dorian. Something that just doesn't really work to my taste anyways, you know what I mean? Nothing's ever really truly wrong. That's because that would be maybe not the best place to put that mode. Technically, where you want that Dorian note, where you add an F sharp in the key of A minor, or the A minor pentatonic, not necessarily a key, is on the second degree. Okay, so this is as far as we're going to get music theory wise, right? There's 7 notes in any key of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The key of G has an F sharp in it, right? So the second mode, the second degree of G is G, A. That's why A's mode in G has an F sharp. Super long-winded explanation of why I prefer Dorian, because like I said, it kind of sucks you in. Generally, you'll find it on the second degree. One reason I really like doing it too is because I do a lot of acoustic accompaniment when I play out and stuff. So that minor 6 chord is just such an awesome chord that I use all the time. And technically, a minor 6 chord kind of pairs super nicely with Dorian. Who are you? Have you ever written a hit song? F off. Of course, every band has pop singles, but does that make a song? Of course, I've encountered plenty of people playing Wonderwall at parties, but that doesn't take away from the song, and it's a classic. I've never even heard of you, LOL. Nirvana was accused of being pop, but that's semantics. Really, they were just liked by many. Anyways, you're a loser. Unlike douche. For you to unlike the video, doesn't that beg the question that you originally liked the video and had to unlike it? Anyways, that was a very heartfelt response for a Wonderwall truther. And, he actually deleted that comment, but not before I was able to screenshot it. But he deleted the long comment, but he kept the douche one up. Hey, Muppet, thanks for keeping it real. So this was a comment on a wildly successful video I posted last week of a Muppet teaching you the pentatonic scale, or the muppetonic scale, as I said before. So yeah, I had a custom Muppet of myself made. Hey, look, we're even wearing the same shirt. Did not plan that. It just has great style, right? So let me tell you a little bit about owning a Muppet of yourself. It's way creepier than you could ever possibly imagine. I was prepared for a little bit of it being creepy. My brother, I share a house with my brother. He lives kind of like downstairs and I'm upstairs. And he's like, you're not allowed to leave that Muppet downstairs ever. And I'm like, come on, man. And yeah, that's a great house rule, because if I just like leave it in a chair up here, I always think like, who the hell's in that chair? And it scares me all the time. Another thing I've found myself doing is I just like prop him up somewhere. Every time I walk by, I tussle his hair. I'm not doing it ironically. I just tussle the Muppet's hair. And yeah, that started. Also, I got a lot of shade. Well, not a lot of shade, but I got multiple shade of people informing me that I've ripped off another YouTuber or something that used a Muppet in a video. And I have a confession to make. I did rip somebody off. His name is Jim Henson. Okay? Nobody invented Muppets. I'm not going around YouTube stealing Muppet-related content. It's almost impossible to have an original idea now anyways. But I do think that I may be the first person to teach the pentatonic scale with a Muppet. So that's the claim to fame. Another very common comment that I got was that was really funny. Never do it again. As if I'm gonna somehow ride the Muppet train to like the bank and like sell out. Yeah. Anyways, another observation is I wish his mouth would shut because he always has this resting like terror look that also kind of freaks me out. And also, I was not prepared for how it took a lot of getting used to have to put my hand up its rear end to access the mouth moving capabilities of it. That has gotten easier, I suppose, as it goes on. It's just like, I guess it's probably like being a doctor, you know, how you just get used to cutting people open. It's the exact same thing. The exact same thing, dealing with the Muppet. So yeah, there's a little SD. If you guys have any more Muppet-related content, I'm all ears, so let me know what you think. If Barney the dinosaur ever starts playing guitar, I hope he gets one of these. By one of these, I know that you mean this Luke 3 that Ernie Ball sent me. Yeah, definitely. I have not been known for my affinity for Sparkle Burst, but I gotta say, like, seeing this in person, I never would have thought, like, if you would have shown me a picture of it, I'd be like, what am I looking at here? But when this showed up and I took it out of the box, I was like, this actually kind of works in a way that, I don't know if it translates in person or not, but again, this is a pretty cool guitar, so yeah, check out the demo that I did on it the other day, which I'll also link in the description if you guys are interested, because this guitar is sick, and it's also helped me fall in love with figured maple. If you ever have a chance to get a guitar with figured maple on it, it's awesome just because it's kind of a trip just to stare at it. For listening homework, one of my all-time favorite bands, Muse, is in the news because they announced like this IMAX release of Simulation Theory, which is kind of like a live interspersed just kind of phenomenon they have coming out. So I'm going to throw you to some old school Muse, I guess. A song called The Small Print, which is kind of slept on in the enormity of their incredible catalog of rock. So check that out. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. And then definitely please check out the Patreon because there's so much content there. It'll absolutely blow your mind. Thanks a lot.